Hi, my name is Nate Grundy, and today I'm going to be talking about online gambling addiction and what we can do to prevent that. Have you ever noticed that on an Apple iPhone, it'll tell you at the end of the week how much screen time you had per day? Now, while this is a good way to kind of prove to Americans that everyone's a little bit addicted to their phone, it makes you already more inclined to start a gambling addiction online. The problem became very relevant to my life when everyone that I knew that online gambled a little bit suddenly became in debt, and the only way they thought they could pay that debt was gambling, thus for forming an addiction. This is a very relevant topic in the state of Arkansas since you can legally gamble with restrictions at the age of 18. Since these young adults are already more influenced by ad campaigns, and more exposed to forming this new addiction within the law, this makes it easier for people in this state to think that gambling is actually safe for them. When you mix in the online gambling while already addicted to their phone, it makes people much more inclined to form a gambling addiction. Today I will discuss online gambling, the solution, and the benefits of the solution I prepared. Now let's begin with the problem at hand. With increasing amounts of internet usage happening right now in our society, a common issue that comes along with this is internet addiction. According to Marshall in her article, Internet Addiction, Definition, Assessment, Epidemiology, and Clinical Management, internet addiction is defined as something that is characterized by excessive or poorly controlled preoccupations, urges, or behaviors regarding computer use and internet access that leads to impairment or distress. Meaning that internet gambling is 2 times as dangerous as normal gambling, with the internet becoming more and more common in our daily lives. That being said, this makes us more inclined to become addicted to the internet as well as gambling, meaning that the user of the online gambling is at risk for 2 addictions rather than 1. There are a few major reasons that online gambling increases your chance of becoming addicted. That's simply because, as Kimberly Young states in her article, Understanding Online Gaming Addiction and Treatment Issues for Adolescents, she states that gaming addicts alone will forego sleep, food, and real human contact just to experience more time in the virtual world. Which leads us to the major concern of online gambling is that it is something that can be accessed anytime, anywhere. Now let's see how we can change that issue. Forming addictions is a serious thing when it comes to any type of addiction, and it is something that friends and family should always try to look out for and realize because when it is affecting our loved ones. Being that the nature of online gambling is online, it makes it very difficult to quit. This is why I believe the solution is through our friends and family. Excuse me. That being said, Kimberly Young, as mentioned earlier, states that in children, parents play a major role in setting restrictions as well as teaching good habits when it comes to the internet. Now, I know for most of us that experience this in our lives, it's not much of a parent and kid situation. It's more of a friend on friend. Now, when it comes to your friends being introduced to this addiction, and you gotta talk to them. Like, that's the main way. No one else but themselves can stop them unless you try to reach out. And they might not know how negatively it is affecting them until you point it out to them. And while that comes with many obstacles, if this addiction is negatively affecting them and the people around them, it is important to help them see that. That way, that is the only way that they will want to be helped. And once they realize their addiction issues, you can help them by suggesting blocking sites and ad websites, download an ad blocker, just to get the temptation out of their site to help reduce, to make it nearly impossible for them to access that without unblocking the sites. And here's why this is the most promising issue. It is universally understood that any type of gambling or any type of addiction is inherently a bad thing. And to think with online gambling and gambling ads, it is possible to start not one but two addictions simply by clicking on an ad on the internet. This is a very dangerous thing. It is important for parents to teach their kids good habits when it comes to using the internet. And it is important to make sure that our friends and family are not succumbing to this addiction. By getting loved ones to admit this issue, it is the only way they will willingly accept help. The good thing is that after they admit and realize that they want help, the process can begin immediately simply by blocking the sites and the ads, downloading the ad blocker, making it difficult for them to gamble at all. And then you have to watch them and make sure that they stick to that no gambling. While it is true they can unblock the sites and ads, it is a good first step. The largest milestone in stopping an addiction starts by admitting that you have it. And the benefit to my solution is that if it works, it avoids a person from going to rehab and puts their life right back on track. Now let me ask you, does this remind you of anyone you may know? Today I discussed the issue of online gambling and how to help that by blocking the sites, parents teaching children good habits, and watching out for your loved ones. Keep yourself and friends out of debt and prevent this addiction from the start, because the change starts at home, and that's the only way we'll be able to stop online gambling addictions. Thank you. My sources are Pat Bass and the Gaming Addiction Where Going Online Goes Off the Kilter, Q Jiang and Internet Addiction Among Young People in China, Internet Connectedness, Online Gambling, and Academic Performance Discrement, SM Gainsbury and Online Gambling Addiction, the relationship between internet gambling and disordered gambling, and Kimberly Young, Understanding Online Gaming Addiction and Treatment Issues for Adolescents, the American Journal of Family Therapy, and M. Shaw and D.W. Black, and Internet Addiction Definition Assessment, Epidemiology, and Clinical Management, CNS Drugs.